Well, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. If the clicker works correctly, no, okay. So, it seems that the slides have been just switched over. Well, thank you very much for the introduction once again. My name is Warren Knight. I am going to be with you for about the next 45 minutes. So, how are you all feeling today, okay? Did you not learn earlier? How are you all feeling today? Excellent. So, just to give you a little hint, the more you give me, the more I'm going to give you. Now, I do have a little surprise coming up for somebody, and a surprise is exactly a surprise because they have no idea what I'm about to go and do. Now, unfortunately, the slides have just been switched around the wrong way, so we're going to start here. We're not extinct just yet in regards to what's going on. What I would like to do today is really help you get a better understanding on how to embrace a digital transformation. If you would like a copy of this presentation, please take a note of this little link here. It's called gettalk.atecsw. I will be bringing it up again towards the end of the presentation, but if you would love to get a copy of this, please just simply go to that link, and I will give that to you, along with a couple of the little pieces of technology that I'm going to be sharing with you today that you might not know about. This is something that I've been working on for the last 3 years. I've been analyzing what my business has been doing. I've been analyzing what my clients' businesses have been doing. But more importantly, I've been looking at customers and the journey that customers go on. So this is an online methodology to help you go through a digital transformation. And I've broken it down into 5 very simple ways. We start off over here with visitors. Guess what we've got to do? We've got to talk to them with relevant conversations. Then we need to engage with them. And we take those visitors and we build them into being prospects. These are the people that we have conversations with and nurture. And we take those prospects into being happy customers. And those customers need to be sold. And they need to be sold again too. But more importantly, when we get that person to be a happy customer, we want to turn them into being a brand advocate. So I'm going to be deep diving into each one of these sections for you throughout my presentation today. Now, this might or might not surprise you. Now, I did hear a very scary statistic literally last week where this has now gone to 10.2 times before someone who is a visitor engages with us, turns them into prospects, and then becomes a happy customer. 10.2 times. Now, I think that's a little bit too much, so I've simplified it just to give it to you to 8 touch points. And I'm going to be sharing some of those touch points with you today. Now, this is me. I'm called upon by Sky News. I write for various different types of magazines around what's going on. I've actually, as mentioned earlier, written a book called Think Digital First, and I rewrote this book literally in the last month. I launched it about 2 weeks ago. I wrote it well over 3 years ago, and I looked at what I'd written 3 years ago and the methodology that I've just gone and shared with you and how things have changed and evolved. So I actually stripped out 60% of the content from the original book and added an extra 25% content inside of here. So is anybody here that would like a copy of this book? Just let me know if you like a copy of the book. Very good. It's not that easy. Not that easy. So what I'd like you to do now is take out your phones, take a picture, and just use my Twitter handle @WarrenKnight. Don't forget to use the hashtag #DigitalFirst and use the little hashtag that we've got here, eComSW. Now, if you're going to get a picture, make sure you get my good side. Does my bum look big in these jeans? No. Make sure you get a good picture. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to come pick one of you in a minute, in about 30 minutes' time, and I'm going to give you a copy of my book. Now, I mentioned earlier a little surprise. He has no idea what he's just about to go and do for you. But this moment all comes down to you guys. It's whether or not you can actually bring the roof down to make this happen. So if you would like James to come and join me up on stage, I'm going to teach him how to do the moonwalk on stage in front of all of you guys today. Now, he's over there somewhere going, oh no, I can't believe I'm going to do that. But it all comes down to whether or not you guys want him to be on stage to show you how he can do the moonwalk perfectly. So the louder you clap, it will make the difference between him coming and not coming. So let's clap and see how loud we can clap. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. That's brilliant. I can't even hear myself speak. Come on, James. Look at his face. Come on, come on, come on. So what I'd like you to do is stand here and face that way. Stand in front of me. People want to see you, not me. I want you to face that way, but listen and watch what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to do the moonwalk together. We're going to start here. We're going to moonwalk off the stage, round the back. No, we're not. We're just going to do a couple of steps. So what I'd like you to do first is put your right foot forward. Okay, be on the ball of your foot. Okay, lift your heel up a little bit. And then what I want you to do is drag this foot back and then lift your heel up in the air. Okay, so drag your foot back, lift it in the air. That's it. Then with your left foot, do the same again. Drag it back and lift it up. That's it. Drag it back, lift it up. Drag it back, lift it up. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yay! Give him a round of applause, everybody. You can use that as a little party piece for what you're doing. Thank you for making that happen for me. I really appreciate it. Now, the first thing that I spoke about right at the very beginning was about your business being relevant to your customers. We've got to have the right way of communicating because there's so much noise out there. There are 5,000 tweets sent every single second. Hold on. Yep, another 5,700 tweets been sent. So that's a lot of noise. We've got to communicate to our customers in the way enabling us to be able to bring them over to become visitors, prospects, and then customers of ours. But where do we start? We start by having the right tone of voice. Now, this might sound very strange to you, but this is the first place that I start whenever I'm working with a company to go through a digital transformation. We've got to try and work out where your business is at right now. What is your marketplace? So who are you? Who's surrounding you? Who are you talking to? And what do your customers want? Or more importantly, if we look at Pareto's law, the 80-20 law, we want to look at your business. We want to take that 20% of your customers that is generating 80% of your revenue. Now, I was working with a company in the print promotion industry, and actually it's 17% for them. 17% of their customers bring in 80% of their revenue. And yet, their tone of voice is still talking to the customers that are down here. They're still speaking the same way they've been speaking from being at trade shows to then meeting them face to face and having conversations with them and then taking that same tone of voice online. And yet, the clients that are bringing in most of the revenue of the business, they're not talking to. They're the ones that are going to be important for us to be able to help grow our business on an ongoing basis. So I've broken it down very simply for you. As human beings, we actually go through three phases to be able to want to get engaged with a brand first of all. We go through the early phase, finding out whether or not this brand is right for us and who we are. So one of those tones of voice that you could use in your business that talks to that customer is about price anchoring. When we're talking online, think about the ways that are going to engage with that perfect target customer and bring them over to our website. Now, potentially, you might be looking at going international. So rather than wanting to get a single order and ship that order, where potentially the cost of the product is cheaper than the actual cost of the delivery, why not use your tone of voice online to get bigger customers? Push them up to that threshold that you know makes it profitable for you to be able to have a conversation with them and engage with them for the lifetime value of that customer. So now that customer's got engaged with you. Talk about being multilingual. Have customer service that talks to different types of customers. If this is part of your roadmap with your business, use price anchoring, the price of that. Talk to them in a way that makes them feel comfortable of wanting to engage with you as a brand. And now they're really talking to you. They know you, they like you, and now they're beginning to trust you. Take it one step further. Let them have a real conversation with somebody. Pick up that phone and have a conversation. We are in a digital world. I've been loving it for the last 10 years. But as was very kindly mentioned earlier, I don't think I'd ever be able to emulate getting $1 million worth of sales again. But how I achieved that $1 million of sales was by picking up the phone. And that hasn't changed. So think about your tone of voice and what type of clients that you want to connect to for your business. This is really important. To help you understand about embracing having a digital transformation, we must start at home. We must start with our digital assets. Everything that comes from being on our website, even the brochures that we're printing out, they're physical versions and digital versions of it. Everything that we own is exactly that. We own it. So take those digital assets and use social media to be able to share those digital assets. The pictures that we're taking today. I'm sure James and his team will be looking at the videos from today, the images, the lovely testimonials that everybody's given you, and using them as a way to engage with people for next year's event. They're your digital assets. You own them. Share them out on social media. Take them and use them for paid advertising. Don't talk about your product. Talk about the experience that you want to give. Think about how you can give that great experience to your customers over and above trying to just get that sale. And then the fourth one is what I absolutely love. It's all about earned media. Every single picture that you have taken so far and for the rest of the day, eCommerce Southwest is all earned media. It's not what they've said, it's what you've said. It's what you've got out of today. And that's really powerful. Social proof. So think about these 4 core areas when it comes to owning your digital assets. The next step, engage. We've got to have conversations. It's all well and good pushing content out there, but we've got to have conversations with these people to build trust in regards to what we're doing. Remember, we're taking that visitor from being a prospect. How many of you here have watched TED Talks? Bit of an idea? Okay, great. So this is basically the methodology that TED work on. They want you to be emotional. Now, I went through 3 rounds of IVF over 15 months. We lost our child in the 2nd round, and now I'm fortunate enough to say I have a beautiful baby girl of 7 months after going through 3 rounds of IVF, and I became a dad for the very first time at the age of 47. Emotions. When was the last time you saw a speaker do the moonwalk on stage? Be novel. Be memorable. What are you doing in your brand that touches these 3 different core areas of who we are in human nature, but more importantly, how customers want to engage with us as a brand? Talk about why you started the business. Bring the emotion into what you're doing at the moment. Be novel. You're all unique in regards to what you're doing. Every single business is slightly different. Bring that across and be memorable. Take that and do your content marketing. I'm sure there's many of you here that know this already. I'm not going to dwell on this point, but it is an important point to think about. Why do we want to share content online? It builds brand awareness. It puts us over and above what our competitors are doing and not doing. It drives traffic over to a website. It generates leads in regards to what we're doing. Now, before I move forward onto the next slide, I would like to know from you guys, Who is following me here on Twitter and never met me before? So who's followed me on Twitter and never met me before? Who's that? Come here. Bring it in. Come here. Come on, get up. Come on. That's it. Bring it in. Hey, give a big hug. There you go. That's a big bear hug, that is. Hi, Adam. One more. Hold on, Adam. I'm just going to give you one of these. That is probably one of the best hugs I've ever had. Thank you very much. That's for you. Look at the smile on his face. He just had a man hug. But that's what social media can do for you. It breaks down those barriers from somebody that... Have we ever met, Adam? No. You going to remember me? Oh, you had me worried for a moment there. But that's what it can do for you as a brand. Whether it's online, offline, I'm going to share some other tactics with you to help you embrace those customers from an online perspective. So I'm just going to share with you 5 best practices for you to be able to content market your business around being emotional, novel, and memorable. The first one, podcasts. These are fantastic ways to produce digital assets. Find people in your space, in your local community, in your industry, whatever it might be, and engage in a conversation with them online. You can take that audio file, transcribe it, turn it into a beautiful blog, and then go and share it. Content. It really is king. Google will index your business 434% more than another business that does not have regular content on it. That's how powerful that can be for you, just from Google's perspective. Images. And that's why I asked you guys earlier to take a picture, because pictures can get up to 150% more engagement online. Don't just use words, use images to talk about your brand. Videos, powerful, powerful, powerful. I'm going to share with you a little bit actually about how you can actually use one of the social networks to really take them from that being a visitor and turn them into a prospect perspective. And then the last one, live streaming. It's a great way to get what it is that you do out there. I read 2 days ago, now when you do a story inside of your Instagram, that live stream that you do, you can push that over to your Facebook page automatically. So think about how this technology can actually help you grow your business. Oh, why not? Yep. Let them come down here. We'll have a little chat. Yes. Sorry, I'm Warren.
I'm Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. Nice to meet you too.
So I work a lot with social.
Yep.
And obviously you can share Instagram into Facebook.
Yes.
How closely do you work with Facebook for when are they going to swap that so I can push Facebook into Instagram?
Okay. My personal feeling is those two platforms are completely different. And I'm going to share a statistic with you in a minute, actually, around the reasons why when you're communicating as a brand, it's about that native platform. So whilst in the olden days, I used to get a lot of reach around taking a piece of content and amplifying it across multiple social networks, it doesn't happen anymore. I don't know whether or not you guys use LinkedIn as a way to engage with your B2B clients, but I've been testing this literally only over the last couple of weeks, and they've changed their algorithm. And you can go and test this tomorrow. Do a post that's got a native video inside of that post or a native picture inside of that post, and look at how many views that post gets. Then do a post that has a link on it going out to that video. LinkedIn wants you, as do the other social networks, to stay inside of that social network. So to answer your question, I would really stay focused in regards to the native side of things. It does depend where your target audience hang out and how big your audience is. Definitely a resource. Yeah, it's definitely a resource. But from my perspective, when it comes to a resource problem, I'd rather say no to that and stay focused on that one thing. Now that one thing, do it really well, rather than trying to kind of, cross-reference your content around what's going on. But thank you for the question. This, for me, is the biggest part where companies are failing. You spend all your time turning that visitor into a prospect. You've taken them over from your website. Now you've got their details to have a conversation with them in your terms. you're not nurturing your database. It is very simply just like taking that seed, putting it into a nice little tub that we want it to grow, and then we walk away from it. That seed will not turn into a happy customer unless we take a little bit of water and we pour it onto that seed on a consistent, regular basis. That seed will grow and flourish and turn into one of our lifetime value customers that becomes a huge brand advocate of ours. Nurturing is key to what we do inside of our business. And as I said earlier, 54% of consumers like to be in their native environment. So in other words, if I'm an Instagram avid user, that's where I want to be and that's where I want to stay. Don't try and take me over to Twitter because I have no interest in that. So we've got to understand when we're nurturing our visitors and prospects where they hang out and talk to them and talk to them in their tone of voice. Instagram, minimum 5 to 15 hashtags every single post. Do not do 15 hashtags over in Facebook. Because as quick as that person's come to find out about you and your brand and got to know, like, and trust you, guess what? They're gone. I don't want to see 15 hashtags inside of Facebook. So stay native with your communication. So this is a platform that I love, Pinterest. There are two reasons why I love Pinterest. One, gives me fantastic social signals for my business. In other words, I put a post inside of a board, I go over to Google, type in a couple of keywords, click on images, and it can appear on the front page of Google, giving you a link back over to your website and driving organic traffic over to your business. I love Pinterest for that. The second reason why I love Pinterest, they bought a piece of kit from one of the co-founders of Twitter and built it into their platform. It's all about visual search. That specific part of a post can now be searched for and brought up. Yep, just want to go focus straight into that lamp. And now inside of Pinterest on my mobile phone, I get nothing but lamps appearing. So again, you've got to kind of talk to your customers in a way that engages with them. Sell the experience, sell the lifestyle with the products inside of that. Don't necessarily just talk about the individual product itself. You've got Instagram, a new feature for you. More work for social media management companies. But it's a great feature because this is a way for you to be able to find out what your visitors and prospects want from you as a business. You can now run a poll inside of a story. Get people to choose. Do you like sprinkles or not like sprinkles? Okay, great. Everybody loves sprinkles. Great. We know what we're going to put into our marketing plan for next month. Donuts with sprinkles. Because that's what our audience have told us. But it's got to be in that native environment. YouTube, as I mentioned earlier, whether or not you're using these features, I don't know at the moment, but I want to share them with you. One, you can have a series of videos appear one after the other based on your categories on your website. So when somebody comes to one video, they're going to get a whole series of other videos based on that specific product that you've got on your e-commerce platform. But more importantly, it allows you to have a cheeky little link on the video going out over to your website, giving them, again, something of value, whatever that might be. And these features are all free inside of YouTube. Again, YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world, owned by Google. So use these features. Is that for me? Shall I get that? Is it? No, that's all right. So use these features for your business to take that organic traffic from those social networks and bring them over to your website. Why? This is why. All of those people that follow you inside of Facebook, inside of Instagram, you don't own them. Mark Zuckerberg does. If tomorrow he decided to close your account down, your account's closed, and you're never going to get any of those followers back again. So nurture those people inside of those social networks, but do take them out of those social networks and over to your website. So I did a bit of research, kind of from an online perspective. Thought this is really nice brand, talking to their customers in lots of different ways. Welcome to our online home. They don't call it a store, online home. around what's going on, sign up for our emails, and get 20% off. They're price anchoring again to that customer to bring them out of that visitor process and bring them over to being into a prospect. Now, one thing that they're doing very clever here, you can see this is above the fold, shoe story. They're telling a story again. And I wanted to anchor this into what we were talking about earlier in regards to those TED Talks. But one clever thing that they're doing here is not this. They are not asking for your first name, your last name, your email address, where do you live, what's the turnover of your business, what other products are you interested in, how old's your wife, do you have any kids? It's not asking for any of that information, simply asking for an email address, one thing. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some great statistics shared with you throughout today, but I've proven this over and over and over again. You ask for one thing, you get a much higher conversion rate. You ask for lots of things in the first stage, as quick as they've come, they're going to go. So think about how you can actually get that data from those people at a later date. Because what happens is this process. They come over to your website, they visit, they leave. They come to your website, they visit, they leave. But what we want them to do is actually, I know it's quite amazing, and it's shocked you into smashing plates. But what we want them to do is we want them to come back over and over and over again. And we do that by capturing their details. Use this technology, and it's simple technology, to be able to capture those details in regards to what's going on. And then bring them into a really nice piece of marketing automation. Based on the actions that potential customer of yours takes. Now, they've been a visitor, they love what you do, they've given you their details, you've given them something of value for that potentially. Now, take them through a process that allows them to make choices around what's going on. Based on those choices, the marketing automation will take them through a different process. This is all about personalization. We've got to give them the choices of what they want to do in the time that they want to do it. So think about how you can automate your content to go out online. Then, so how many people here are using remarketing at the moment? Okay, big hand gone up at the back there. This for me has revolutionized the way that I'm now doing business and has made me fall back in love with Facebook again. Remarketing is very, very powerful, and it can be very, very focused, literally laser focused in regards to what you've got going on. Very simple. If we just take Facebook as an example, Facebook have a thing called Pixel. You go to your ads manager, grab a little bit of codes, get your techie guys to stick it on your website, but not just stick it on your website anywhere. Stick it on the focused landing page for the marketing that you've got going on for that week, month, whatever it might be. So one landing page, you might be talking about a specific range of categories on your business. Stick that pixel, put it on that specific category page, and then through your marketing, online, offline, sending people through to that specific landing page, they might come over, and as it does for me, I'm online looking at product services that I'm interested in. All of a sudden, my baby girl starts crying. I go over to her, pick her up. She's making that sound that I know I can't help her with. Wifey, you need to feed her. I come back over to my website. I've got an email that I've got to answer. And I forget the website that I'm on. But with Facebook Pixel, it drops a little code onto my website. And then when I'm in Facebook later on, a little advert appears about that specific landing page that I was on earlier. Not the generic website, not something that I'm not interested in, that exact thing that I was interested in becoming a customer of yours. Basically, remarketing that person back over to that specific landing page again. So use this technology, embrace it. You can use it in Google, but I'm getting amazing stats out of Facebook by actually remarketing back to those people that have already been on specific landing pages on my website and then convert them into customers. Sales. We've got to get those sales. We've got to put that time, effort, and energy in regards to what we do. We've got to get sales for our business. 31% of e-commerce sales at some point have been touched because of what they said, saw, read, asked inside of social media. Artificial intelligence. When you take them over to your website or inside of that native platform, why not let technology get involved and have conversations with those people that are customers of yours, asking, when can I expect delivery? Have you got the tracking code for my order? Did you receive my order? I've not received an email. Use artificial intelligence, in other words, frequently asked questions, embed them into the technology and let the technology do the work. And at that point of where there's a real need or a human to step in, the technology can then let that person know and take over the controls. So keep asking those questions around those people that have got those sales. Now, about 10 years ago, Facebook came up with the idea, well, probably 9 years ago now, actually, Facebook came up with the idea of social commerce. Thought, great, we're going to take your e-commerce store, we're going to throw it into your Facebook page. You can have a whole great page of all your lovely, beautiful products. And people spent millions of pounds trying to make that work. Facebook very quickly realized that people inside of Facebook don't want to buy on your page. However, now, how many people here have actually called through the Facebook phone thing? Have you called people from Facebook? Okay, there's a few of you here. Guess what Facebook are doing? Listening to every single conversation. So if you're saying, yeah, I'm going up to Cumbria, we're going to be, walking over the hills, but one thing that I don't have is a pair of wellies. Okay. Facebook listens to that. The welly company says, Facebook, when somebody talks about wellies, can you push them a little advert for me, please? Giving them the option to come and shop now. You've also got Instagram, being very focused around the individual product. Pinterest, 93% of people inside of Pinterest are there because they want to buy something. One of the biggest e-commerce do-it-yourself platforms did a bit of research around all of their SME brands. Pinterest is the highest converting social network from an e-commerce perspective. One of those reasons is what I shared with you earlier, is because you get a beautiful bit of social signal of that link, of that product being found on the front page of Google. So utilize these different social networks in a native way to engage with those customers around what's going on. Take those customers and turn them into beautiful brand advocates. I'm sure James and his team have got some wonderful brand advocates here today around what's going on. Because 26% of sales online come from other people recommending your products, your service, your brand, whatever it might be. 26%. But to help them with that, maybe do a little bit of live streaming. Jump into Facebook and don't you, as a business, talk about your brand. Actually, get your customers to come along and be on the live stream with you. You can now split screen around what's going on. So get your customers to come and do the live stream with you and talk about your brand. Talk about the reasons why, where they found you, how they work with you, whatever that might be. But get your customers to do the talking about your business. It's a very powerful way to keep them as a client, but also win new business. So I've got 6 tips for you before we go away today to help you with your digital transformation. First one, tell a story. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you at right now? And where would you like to be? Think about that tone of voice that you're using. Potentially use price anchoring to make that happen. Turn that story into content. Not just one type of content, different types of content. Great pictures are going to be had today. Might turn it into a GIF file, get some nice videos of people, great testimonials, cut it up, put it onto your YouTube page, drive more traffic over to your business. Social media, but think about it in a native way. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing across all those different social networks because they say that's what they're doing. Think about who your customers are and where they hang out and what's important to you. Do use marketing automation. It is not a dirty word when done correctly. There is some fantastic software out there that's very intuitive that guides that visitor and prospect to make the choices that's important to them when it's important to them. Remarket back those visitors. It takes a lot of time, effort, energy to drive those people over to our website. Bring them back, but stay laser focused on what page they were on, rather than, come and take a look at my business again. I'm not interested in what all your business does. I'm interested in that one product that actually I went to that page yesterday, earlier, whatever it might be. And the last one, artificial intelligence. So, just to remind you guys, this is my 5-step formula for an online methodology to be able to help you go through a digital transformation. Each one of these core areas has a touch point. You'll notice we start off here talking about the tone of voice. If we don't get that right, we engage with the wrong people. We spend the wrong time. Then we've got to bring them through to that nurture phase. As I said, this is where most companies are failing to actually win more business. And once you've got that sale, turn that happy customer into a brand advocate. So I'd just like to say thank you very much, Bristol, and enjoy the rest of your day.